Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you how you can make a simple bookmark on Tinkercad. Now Tinkercad is a really easy program to use, but it has some pretty cool features. And so in making this bookmark, we'll see some of those. So basically Tinkercad, click and drag, and most bookmarks are rectangles, and I'm going to start with a cube, a box that we will turn into our bookmark. Now I like my bookmark to have rounded corners, because with the rounded corners are less likely to rip the pages. And so what I'm going to do is on this cube, I'm going to change its radius to 2. This, as you can see, gives it rounded corners. I'm also going to change my length and my width in here. The reason for that is I want the rounded corners not to be stretched out in any different way, so it rounds them evenly. Now, I could easily turn around and change my height to what I want it here, this 0.5, like that. However, even though I can't see it, it's rounding the corners on the bottom, and that could give me issues on printing if I'm making something not quite as thin. So I'm going to show you another way you can do that. So I'm going to put that back up to 20 where it was. So let's say you're creating something thicker. You can take the box like this. Now this box is a hole, and if I was to do this, and I can turn around, that box is under it completely. I clicked and dragged to select both items, and I can group them. I can group them here or with Control G, and as you can see, that gives me the flat bottom. So that's one way that I can do it. Okay. Um, If I wanted a flat bottom and flat top, I can take this and I can duplicate this shape. I can press the duplicate button, or I can press Control D. And with that Control D, I can now take it and I can lift it up and make sure that it is covering that top. You kind of see that I have a sandwich here. And if I was to click and drag and group all of these, you can see I'm just left with that middle portion. Now I'm going to click on this and I'm going to hit the D button, which drops it down to the work plane. And for a bookmark, this is almost 7 millimeters thick. It is too thick for a bookmark. And I'm going to go back to that 0.5, just like that. And you can see I have my bookmark with rounded corners. Now, I could customize this in many different ways. A common way would be to take text and turn it into a hole. And you could simply have this rotate it to fit and say what you want, your name or whatever it might be. However, I want a heart on mine. And so I'm going to take this heart. Now we can see this heart is a little bit too big. I'm going to turn it into a hole. Now I can resize this heart two ways. If I start resizing like this, I might get it squished in a weird way where the heart looks a little bit weird. And while I can try and resize it like that, it might still be off. And so I'm going to undo that with my Control Z. I'm going to click on this white corner and I'm going to press the Shift button at the same time. And this allows me to resize it proportionally, which is kind of nice. And now I have my heart. It's the right size, although I'm not quite sure that it's centered. So I'm going to click and drag to select both my shapes. I'm going to go to my alignment tool and I'm going to align my heart in the center. I can also move my heart with the arrows. This way I can move it up a little bit more if I wanted to. I could also rotate it, but in this case I don't want to. So now I'm going to select everything. I can hit Control A, which selects everything. I'm going to group it, and that gives me what my bookmark looks like. And that is how you can make a bookmark in Tinkercad to be 3D printed. Really kind of awesome. Anyways, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you.